What do you say? So he's saying it's a very fascinating thing here. L'svanose ein mispar, invoking numbers, so that refers to the neshama as it comes down lamata. So the neshama down here lamata reveals, because the neshama becomes part of the body, fuses with the body, and it's the Yidden, as he said, from the Medrash there, from the Chizkuni quoted, Shema, Shom, Ayin, the Yidden are 70th of the nations of the world, tracing it all back to the angels, the Rekiyim and the angels, all pointing to the vastness, l'svanose and mispar, to your wisdom, your understanding. There is no number. We're talking about numbers, and it's the vast numbers of creation which the neshama reveals and is part of. Neshama is part of the numbers game by coming down into the guf, into the world, and reveals l'svanose ein mispar. But then there's a higher inyan, ein chekel l'svanose, and that's revealed by dafka the neshamas l'mayla. Now here, what he could stop there, but what he adds over here is this fascinating fact, and talks about the neshamas of previous or the later shmitin. Neshamas that don't come into the guf. When he says neshamas l'mayla, they are the ones that never descend into the physical body down here like us. We pointed out they're all connected, but that's not the point of the maamar. The point of the maamar is to bring out that the neshamas that come down lamata, even after their aliyah, I think even added all the neshamas when yachsu b'tchias hamesim. Tchias hamesim is a tremendous madrege. That's all the yerida, the whole package, including tchias hamesim. Since it's all connected to Elam Hazeh, so legabe, the neshamas l'mayla, the other shmitin, which do not descend into a physical body, that's all the yerida. That's all the yerida, and the true. This v'nosei ein cheker, the endless aliyas l'mayla mamish, the nun yovelis, he said, the 50 yovelis and so on, brought down in Kabbalah. So they are be'ein aroich, to the whole, this v'nosei ein mispar, that whole avodah of revealing that here's these great vast numbers, and the Eibush is beyond that. Saying the Eibush is beyond that means it's still a relationship. So we're bringing out the greatness of God, lagabe, relative to the great numbers, the vast numbers of creations. It's very beautiful, but it's said it's inconsequential. It's insignificant compared to what the neshamas who have no shaykhs to the guf, to numbers, to mispar, what they bring out. And now this says l'cha Havayeh hagdula. I'm sorry. I'm correct. L'cha Havayeh hagdula is the lower level. That's ispashtos, and that's bottled to you. But here we're talking about the gdulase in cheke, similar to in cheke l'svanose. The gdulase in cheke, that's the gdula atzmis, and who addresses the gdula atzmis? Dafka neshamas have no shayches with the guf and the Elam Hazeh. That's the point that he's saying. Now comes the big omnom, and this is the chiddush of this maamar over the maamar of Rosh Hashanah. The maamar of Rosh Hashanah brought out the mile of the Eved, the higher Eved, who does the avodah of the Odin that's fitting for the Odin himself to do. In contrast to the Eved Poshet, it all ties out. The Eved Poshet is this v'nosei and mispar, and the higher Evet is in Chekel Ugdolose, the Fiyarch. It's all relative. That's clear, yes? So this maamar is going to bring out, it's interesting. It seems, I didn't learn it further, but just glancing at it. So we're going to bring out the maamar dafka of Kabbalah. Obviously, he has to tell us, no, that Lama Yoda Neshama Lamata, so who needs all this? There has to be tremendous mile dafka coming Lamata, and dafka in the avodah of this v'nosei ein mispar, notwithstanding the limitations or the fundamental limit to it all. That's coming now. We're clear? Yeah? You're shaking your head somewhat.
Catching her. I have to catch up.
Okay, I just gave a summary now.
Yeah.
You heard, yeah. On the mapi omor b'mailis haneshamas l'maila. In light of the above, with respect to the maila. Oh, 1 second, I didn't do this yet. No, it's not too late. No, it's hard to use the left hand. In light of the above, with respect to the Ma'ila of Neshamas L'Ma'ila, that they are the ones that bring out again L'Svanose in Cheiker and Cheiker L'Svanose rather L'Gdulose in Cheiker. So Shal Yodam is Galin in Cheiker L'Svanose L'Gaben Neshamas Shadon L'Mata. So they bring out that Ma'ila, whereas the Neshamas that descend down here, that's us. Shal Yodam is Galaraka in the L'Svanose in Mispar. So we only bring out a much lower level. To put this in simple language, Shamas Lamatas bring out that the Creator. So the Creator, notwithstanding that He created this tremendous creation, He's beyond it. But it's all born and relative to, and the starting point, the appreciation is the Mispar. With the Neshama L'Maila, Vas Ven Creator, they're dealing with the Eibishter beyond Creator completely. In Cheikel G'dolosi, G'dolos Atzmis. So that begs the question. This is the question he asked in the previous Maimer. It's the same Maimer, much more barichus, and a different maskon because it's deeper. Right? It's fascinating. That's why Rosh Hashanah would be Dafka Avoid of Tainug and Avoid Tere Mitzvahs and Gishmak. That was the first Maimer. We told you that the paradox of Rosh Hashanah is that it's shofar and it's tainug, mamshich tainug, a kolpamim. So tzorich lev understand. Loma yod neshama l'mata. So why would neshama come down there for Rama lebira mikta, quoting or paraphrasing the Gemara in Chiyige, from a lofty roof to a deep pit? Different context completely there. Just using the language. Achinyin hushazen demba. Get familiar with this, right? So. The answer is avodah. What does the Eibishter want for you? Says Moishe Rabbeinu Kim liyira, fear. Then he says Alechas b'chol derachav, to go in his ways. V'lavod as Hashem lekecha, to serve God, your Lord. So we first want to explain the Indian. First, even though it appears later in the pasuk, but first you want to explain this lavod as Havayeh lekecha. And to serve him, service. What is this? What's shaykh service? So servant is like a servant that serves his master. He's fixing, and there's some benefit to the master. The eved through his servant, he serves him and fills or completes that which he lacks. He has needs, and they're met. This can't apply to the Eibishter, who is Barishlim Musa Kulas. The Zohar says he's complete perfection. So what's the in of Avodah? So before Chassidus, what was the Taich Avodah? Nothing. You do the service, but don't take this seriously. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I mean, in terms of the way it was understood till now. But like everything, before Chassidus, everything was kavayoch. It's not, the Eibishter is not affected and so on. It's avodah, it's toil, it's hard work, and you earn a reward. That's a simple meaning of avodah. Avodas Hashem, in terms of contributing, that's kavayoch, but not be'emes. Now, that's the paradox, the simple meaning of the psukim is contribution. So what's the inyan here? There's two kinds of avodah. He does the less avodah like chopping wood chains. It's not honorable for the master to do these things, and therefore it's relegated to the servant. Because the master would not descend to do such things himself. It's almost like if the servant is going to do it, so be it, he won't have it. He's not going down there. The second level, he's engaged in refined and intellectual matters that the master himself would be engaged in. Like engaging in lively panosa. The king wishes to increase his wealth. Or extracting precious stones and the like. These are honorable avodas, even though I don't know the answer to this, but it's also a menial task. Mela selling the precious gems, but that's always the Moshe brought in Chassidus and like Yom Yom of an elevated avodah.
Well, the first avodah of chopping things, it's an elevated one.
Why bring it for liyarech? Just bring something that's elevated. Does have to bring it for liyarech? Say something which a master would do. I'm just asking, would a master be busy with? He's selling it, not cutting it. Huh? Skilled labor. It's skilled labor, but even that, it's still labor, still with your hands. Why bring that? It's definitely a diuk.
It's more of an avodah to cut than to sell.
No, just that's physical labor. When the whole thing with bringing out is fakert, that the Admo doesn't get down, that doesn't get his hands dirty. It's in a higher realm of seichel, business, academia. Why bring this? But that's the mashal that's brought. At any rate, Shem Melachas Nechbod is that is. So then Kosher Eved Oisei, so when he does it as in Nikra Avdoi, it's not Stama Eved, his servant. Toya Shemad Gishayachas Vashaychas, not a description, an adjective that underscores his relationship and connection to the master. He completes the avodah which the master himself would do. He does it in his stead. So what's this? The parallel of so the first servant is only Kabbalah soil. He has no excitement, chayas, energy, and he has no pleasure in what he does. He compels himself to do so, and he does so because he's accepted the yoke of the master. So what's this inyan? This is Lusfun Asay and Mispar. This is Amshocha, the appreciation of the Eibishter, looking at Welt, the vastness of the numbers of the, as the Medrash pointed out. So the Avodah is Ubebeifin Shalashpala. So this Avodah is Hashpala's descent, and hence Gernmim in Shalashpala Lamali Kavayachol, because the Eibishter also to descend Kavayachol, to be a creator and be invested in these great in creation, which is great in number for us. Lowers and contracts himself to be drawn into creation. The numbers begin right there, 10 Maimaris, and then the numbers become virtually endless as they're interconnected, etc. As he explains in Shuva, in Sharich Emunah, the letters and combinations of letters yielding them as endless creations. It's taka the bligvul. One of the diukim here is taka the bligvul of numbers, but still numbers. The Zohar says, like there's the words of the Asar Mamaris and the words of Torah. So the Soras Mamaris are called ordinary words, or the words of the commoner, the common man. Says the Zayv Lavrucha, the Malkol the Ishtoi b'mili de judge. It's not the way of the king to refer to or to engage in common words of the common man. Because it's taka descent, that's creation, that's the Saram Morish. Let's say his Baruch, this is the descent for him, blessed be he. The Kololas, Savas Vichayis Oilam is Eina Elam Ha'ora Bilvad. Creation is not an expression of him, it's the merest glimmer. And Shabbaya de Tzimtzum, when it comes through Tzimtzum, Heidel Eretz Shamayim, and so on, his name. V'adsha Philippinis Achochma, even the level of Chochma Shireshis and Makarachayis B'chol Eilamis. It's a lofty, divine level, the beginning of all of the Chayis, of all of creation. It's also one of those words. It's one of the Asar Maimaris, K'may Marazal, as it says, in the Gemara Bereshis, that the word Bereshis in Chumash, that's also the Kabchenes HaChachma. This is bringing from the Targum says B'Chuchmas. Bereshis means this beginning, the first level, with wisdom, with Chachma, simple meaning. So the Gemara says Nami Maimor. That's one of the 10 Maimorics, because only actually 9 times that it says Vayemer Hashem. Bereshis is the 10th, it's the first one, and it's Kailol, everything like Chachmas in the Kud, which is Kailol, all the details that emerge. But still, end of the day, as lofty and as transcendent as it is, and as undefined, Koyach Ma, it's still a Maimer. It's still a statement, it's part of the system. Not only is it part of the system, it's the origin of the system. The whole system comes as a result of what? Of the very first articulation, Chachma. Okay, so for the Eibishter to be invested in creation through the 10 Maimoris, so we pale this through our avoid of Kabbalah, and God responds in kind. Clear? Yeah. Now the second this is the part of the pasuk where he says, what is Eibishter want for you but to go in his ways? It says Moishe Rabbeinu, that's Drachov Shel Ha'odai, in his ways, the master's ways, the master's world. That is already Avdai, his world. That he does that which the master would do. So what's that? What's God's world? Now, just to make clear, the first Ever is not doing Torah and mitzvahs. What's he doing? What is Kabbalah Sayah? Anybody? He's not doing Torah and mitzvahs. Now, what else is he doing? He's doing it, but there's no gishmak. So it's just, in terms of his experience, it's all just, the way he does it all, it's in a way of he's forcing himself. It's all Kabbalah Sayah. Here, it's the pure avodah of Torah mitzvahs. It's the seichel and the midas. He's enjoying it, and it's his world. To make that clearer, the avodah of Torah mitzvahs, the second Eved. So that's him. He's invested there. Kabbalah Sayah is he's forcing him the opposite. He's doing something which is not him. I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Therefore he's pale by the Eibishter the same thing. The Eibishter is a creator? No, but I'll be a creator anyway, because you drew me into creation, because I want you to through your Kabbalah Sayah. But the avodah of Torah mitzvahs is that's seichel and midas. That's no human being. I mean, that's the ideal human being he's intellectual. If he's an intellectual, he's the emotions are stirred and so on. He has a gishmak in it all. There's no hashpala, there's no kfir. He's just being himself and finding Torah mitzvahs as the beautiful expression, the best way to live, right? That's what's the selling point that many use to sell Torah mitzvahs. You want to enjoy life be'emes? There's no life like it. Shabbos and Taras Mishpacha. If you observe it all, you'll see it's going to be the most fulfilling life, and that's true. There's no big gishmak, right? In mastering a piece of Gemara, read Aaron's article if you want to get the understanding of that world in a very articulate, beautiful way. What is that saying? What's the appeal there? It appears you want to express yourself and enjoy life and fully resonate and engage yourself and be fulfilled.
It's all about you. It's all about you.
You'd be fulfilled. This is avodah of Torah mitzvahs, and that was the first Maimer. The first Maimer demanded this avodah of gishmak and tainug. It's not discounted. So the loike evet. So do we finish that? Actually, there's a nasam shachman eselikus shalamayla me'olam. When a yid engages in Torah mitzvah, so he's connecting to the Eibishter and his world, higher than creation. In brackets, the loike evet ha'alef shal yodi nasas hashpal li sam shachas elikus shlefi erech ha'ilmas. Not like the first avodah that Hashem responds to his avodah. You descended into the world that is not your world. Me too. My world is elikus. Of course, Bligvul, I'll descend into the world of Eilamas. But now we're speaking of the higher Avodah in Drochov. This is his way, his path. There was an arichas there in that Maimer of the pathway, which is not here. It's interesting. Certain things he elaborates upon, and certain things he doesn't. Today's commercial aderech just mentions bekitzer, a derech, a pathway. Shall yoder heilige odem imakim lemakim. A pathway is a place that you go from one place to another. So Hashem says, "Come on my path." You're stuck in Ilam Hazeh, but you're invited to enter into the world of Likus, Ruchnius, pure Ruchnius. And here's the pathway that you embark upon to get there. And you should tell the mitzvah same dracha v'rechaisav. It's the ways and the pathways. Shal Kadosh Baruch Hu batzim the Eibush himself sheyodem tiyam shachasa yad lamata mata. So you do that down here. You're revealing down here drachav. Now comes the chiddush of this maimer. It would appear, of course, and that was the emphasis of the first maimer, that the mile of the second eved, the drochov, lagabe eved aleph, relative to the first eved, who's connecting to the Eibush in his world, and mamshich that in our world. Mikol mokim yesh mile yiseda. There is a you say that extreme in but extra in Hebrew. Be'eved or aleph mitzad zeh shavedosi be'kabal sil dafke. But there's a mile in the first eved dafke because it's kabbalah sil. Zen nemakim li yirom. That appears in the pasuk. Right away. Shel mincha kim li yirom. Then comes Alechas b'drachav. So this is Kim Li Yira. To create the Avodah, the Kabbalah Sel, that's Kabbalah Sel accepting the yoke of heaven. Shazel Yira Tato, that's the lower fear. Rakli Acharize, and only afterwards is Yimaisav Lechas b'drachav v'lavoid Shazel in Yonei Shel Eved Abeis Lo'ovdoi. So how could this be? Let's begin our explanation. We even behakt them toisves be, but you found the avodah. We're going to add further explanation in the ways of avodah, the two efanim. Sheyesh eifan avodah the tefillah. There's the avodah of tefillah. Now, just to make clear, it doesn't mean here just when you daven. This is a eifan avodah. As now the vaysh yispal adam kolayim kulay. So what's the avodah of tefillah? Shikara in yonu ha'tzaika. That the ikar of tefillah is the cry. Like the pasuk says, "Vayitzak al Hashem batzar lahem," and they cried out to the Eibush in the tzar. What's the of the cry? Vinyan bezeh that tzayka shitzoyik. He cries out. There's no words. He cries out. So when does he cry out? Al dovar, he's made a digavad. What's the cry? It's a protest. The gvald. Al dover shahepech ha'emes. It's not the way it should be. Shen yochal l'sovli, he can't bear it. V'lachein tzoyk, he gives a gevaldig yishrei she'eina emes kein. This is not the emes. So he doesn't mean here, friends, just okay, maybe ultimately, but because it is suffering. As you see where he's going, we hear the gewalt of what? That I feel separate from you. That you're concealed. The world, and I go around thinking that I'm a Metzias. This is the Gewalt. So he just gives a general idea. Deeper now, in the words of the Maimon. The more that this emes, he didn't explain now what the emes is. He's giving that. But the more the emes is munach etzli, munach means what? Anybody? Huh? Resting means it's internalized. Yeah. In Yiddish is ogelegt. Yeah, it's hard with the translation. Like it's there, and it's not subject to debate. This is as hanacha. So the more that it's pnimi, in other words, that increases the intensity of the tzayka. that which is not that truth. So what does it mean now? Now we touch it. He learns. He learns Chassidus. So he sees intellectually that which is born, meaning he sees the creative power. Too is the Chacham who sees that which will be born literally. The Pshat is he sees ahead. The Chacham sees what's the consequences, what which will be born. The Chassidus teaches that he sees birth. In other words, he sees the what? With his intellectual eye, he sees and understands, and he is misbeinen every day, and he takes his Shema Yisrael seriously. And he sees that everything is being created, and he's misbeinen in Bichas Yetzer Oyer, he's misbeinen, and it's ovulate. This is the truth, that everything is born and created every day, from every moment, from nothing to something, which means be'emes, it's ayin, the truth. The truth is the likus. And the more this intellectually, this truth illuminates and is true for him, he won't be able anymore to bear the opposite of this truth, the sense of independence. The fact that the yesh appears to be separate from its source. It's a big lie. And it's a terrible lie. And it's a lie from which all the other lies and every abuse is the child of this concealment of you. And the yeshus and the me. That's where it all starts. And therefore he cries out in his heart, he wants to negate this, to overcome this. And the greatness of this cry, made a word, friends. The neshama has no gewalt l'mayla. On the contrary, as we learned, the nun yovelis, it's ascending higher and higher. Life is beautiful. There's no tzayka, there's no gewalt. And here's what he says here. For this tzayka, that's why the neshama descended lamata. Fishing not tzayka in the element batav shalmeit. So this cry is only in a place of constraint. Like the pasuk says, "V'yitzak al Hashem batzar lohem," because of their place of tsar, they call out. Therefore, this can't be. This doesn't exist above. Only down here shows nicer. Here he has the meitzar. This is the hemshech to the first maamar. Where does the tzayka come from? Because he understands. He understands the truth of Elikus. Mitzadriyas hayesha, and then he looks at the yeshus of the world and gewalt. As a bo lo ilu should be not tzayka, so this leads him to the mile of the tzayka. Okay, let's read the next few words. So far, it
doesn't seem like I was supporting the idea that the first Evid has a minor.
Yeah.
This is the second Evid, right?
Yeah. I just suggested that the second Evid couldn't come after the first, because you have to understand, be misbeinen deeply in the fact that Enyan Mulvada and Isavas Yeshma'ai, and that's the first Evid. And there's the Gishmak in that, but then has to lead to the second Evid. If so, Givald, Mayesha. So it seems that I'm just suggesting maybe the Maimim himself will dovetail them, but I'm just suggesting the Hemshech, because you can't come to this without understanding. The only tzayk you can have is, I'm in pain, I need money, I need a healing. That's not what he speaks of. He speaks of the tzayk of the sheker of Elam Hazeh, of his own sheker. All right, friends, let's continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow.